Now I suspect that this video might go a little bit longer than our allotted 15 minutes for the YouTube limitation, because this is without doubt my favourite subject in positive psychology, and it may go into 2 videos, but let's see how we go. I want to start with just talking about a bit of a hero of mine. He doesn't know this, but I'll give you a picture of him up here. His name is Nick Vujicic. I think that's how you pronounce it. Why don't I just write it on the screen? And if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about him, then you could just Google him. He's got a great story, and he's a great bloke doing a lot of really good stuff. And if you Google him, you'll find some, or YouTube him, you'll find some really good videos of the sort of stuff he's doing. He was born through no fault of his own, obviously. He was born with no arms and no legs. So let's just write the whole thing down there. He was born with no arms and no legs. Now, it wasn't all that very long ago that most people, and some people still do, but most people a long time ago used to think that what happened to you in life like this, if you were born with no arms and legs, would cause, and that's what this arrow means as we do these videos, this arrow just means a cause, that what happened to you in life would cause the result. And you would think that being born without arms and legs would just immediately relate, or would immediately result in having a pretty restricted, unhappy and frustrated life. But Nick's a living example of how this is absolute garbage. In fact, a whole lot of research has been done on this sort of stuff, and it's been discovered that, well, originally it was discovered that no, there's another step in here, that our reaction to what happened to us was important, and our reaction, what they call mediated result. So how you reacted to what happened to you in life would affect the result. So if you reacted badly or negatively, you get a negative result, but if you reacted constructively, you'd get a better result. And this reaction could be either emotional. You could have an emotional reaction to what happens, or you could have a behavioural reaction to what happened. And depending on whether they were positive or constructive reactions, you might change the result. Now, this was a big progress, because this sort of explains why Nick here, who's got a pretty good life now, he's running a very successful business, and he's talking to thousands of people and helping lots of people, especially youth, overcome problems in their own lives and how to deal with problems in their own life. And he's just recently got married, and if you look at his videos, you'll see that there's not much that he doesn't do. He plays golf better than I do, he swims better than I do, even though he's got no arms and no legs. And as you can see in this photo, he's pretty happy. He's a pretty happy bloke. Sure, there's been some times in his life when he's not been happy. Sure, having no arms and legs is a major frustration and a major hurdle to overcome, but his reaction to what happened to him has resulted in a pretty good life that he's got now. Positive psychologists, and I've got to be fair to say that this is a component of positive psychology, but it really started with people called rational emotive scientists, who are psychologists, but they come up with a different, an extra step in the process. And they said, well, yeah, that's true. There's an event that happens to you, and there's this other step in the middle, and that little step in the middle, which I won't talk about just yet, causes our reaction, either behavioural. Well, let's do them in sequence. Our reactions, our first reaction will be an emotional reaction. So this blank spot here, this circle that I've drawn over here, which we'll leave blank for the moment, causes our emotional reaction, and our emotional reaction causes, at least partly, our behavioural reaction, and that goes on in turn to cause the result. in part. There's no single cause of anything in the world. There's always lots of different causes, and they're called causal factors. And this is one of those causal factors. Our behaviour is a part cause, is a partial cause of the result of the types of things that happen to us in life. Not a complete single cause, but part. Now, so our reactions partially cause what happens to us in our life. Our reactions contribute to the cause of the result that we get, but there's something that starts before that actually causes our reactions, and this is what this cognitive behavioural theory people came up with probably about 25 years ago, and it's launched probably the most tested and most successful therapies in psychology, and has now become part of positive psychology in the building of resilience. And this is called our cognition. Now that's a very big word, but it's another word for thinking. But it's not just conscious thinking, it's not just what you can actually say in your own mind, it's what's going on in your subconscious as well as in your conscious thinking. But the theory is, and it's a pretty well established theory now, it's pretty well established that this actually works, that what happens to you over here, this is just the event that happens to you in life. We're going to call that the event. That event does not cause anything. There is no causal connection here. There is no causal connection between what happens to you and what you think about it. You can choose what to think about any event. Lots of people think a certain way about a certain event, but other people will think differently. There's no strong one-to-one connection between what happens to you in life and what you think about it. But this thinking about it actually causes, not entirely, but mostly causes our reactions to it. How we think about the event causes how we feel about it and causes how we act towards it. And again, those things there will lead to the result. Now, we can think about this in a really serious, dramatic way, like being born without any arms or legs, which is, a very, very serious thing. But we can also think about it in terms of less severe things, like this picture here. Now, I just got this picture off the net. Here's a picture of a girl in a school, and you can see her face here. She's looking very distressed, and these girls here are saying something obviously sort of funny, sort of nasty and secretive about her. Here's a cartoon that I also got off the net about showing a girl who's had something, what we might call trivial. Here's a picture of a girl, she's just dropped her ice cream. Now, I've seen little girls at school and little girls at preschool go into complete meltdown, no pun intended, when something like this happens to them. So we might think this is pretty trivial, but some people have a really severe emotional reaction to it. This girl here, now we might laugh at this, that, oh yeah, well, bad luck, get over it, toughen up, someone's picking on you, bad luck. But how she thinks about that situation might make her feel really, really awkward about her. And we're starting to realise now in society with our scientific research that people who do get bullied have some really serious consequences. It leads to lots of bad things. It leads to people feeling really lonely, people dropping out of school, people getting depressed. It leads to violence and can lead to some worse things we won't talk about today. So the consequences of this might look to us pretty minor. The consequences of the girl losing her ice cream might look pretty minor, but to the people that are experiencing them, depending on how they think about it, the consequences can be very, very severe. Now, of course, with Nick's case, the consequences could have been very severe. He could have, given up on life because he was born with such a debilitating condition. But he thought differently about it, so he chose not to think about it negatively. And by any measure, his life is now pretty good. So in the next video, because we've run out, we've almost been 10 minutes, in our next video we're going to actually use an exercise where we can use this information to our own benefit, to our great benefit in fact, where we can learn some skills on how to think differently from what we would normally might think, and how that might affect our emotions and our behaviour, and how it might lead us to having a better reaction, having a better result, or leading to a better life. No matter what happens to you, we can think differently, and if we learn those skills, the science tells us that we can learn to be happier and more resilient in life than we otherwise might be. So I shall see you in the next video.